Lots of talk lately about SGI's attempts to drastically hike motorcycle insurance, and then the government's decision to ask SGI to hold that rate hike to 15% a year. And how, according to Minister Donna Harpower, that means that other vehicle owners will be subsidizing motorcycle insurance rates. And whenever we talk about this on this show and Gormley's show, there's so much reaction on both sides of the debate. And in the midst of all of that, a new organization has come into force. It is called Riders Against Government Exploitation, or R.A.G.E. And Malcolm Macleod with R.A.G.E. has been monitoring what SGI has been saying. Malcolm Macleod's with me now. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so you guys haven't been happy with some of the conversations that have been going on here.
Well, yes, that's right, David. What's happened is that SGI has spun this in a way that has kind of created animosity against motorcycle owners and operators. And I think we're aware that from time to time we have public image problems in the first place, and this certainly hasn't helped to be saying that everybody else is subsidizing the insurance costs of motorcycle riders, when in fact basically, an insurance system works by having people who don't make claims pay for the people who do make claims.
And that is what an insurance system does.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's talk about the fairest way that you believe insurance should work in Saskatchewan.
Well, what SGI has done is basically tried to solve all their problems by hiking rates. And the problem with that is that a lot of people who are conscientious motorcycle riders are being unfairly targeted with huge rate increases. If there was a system that went more by developing individual driver profiles that looked at, the probability of different people having insurance claims and setting premiums up on that basis, it might make the rates look dramatically different.
In fact, Les McPherson had a column in the Star Phoenix the other day, and I'm going to read a paragraph from it. I'm quoting here. He says, in the U.S., insurance companies base their rates on the type of vehicle, the driver's age, driving record, where he lives, and for how long, whether he rents or owns, where he works, how long he's worked there, his driving patterns, his marital status, even his credit rating. Is that going a little too far?
Well, it might be, but certainly it's the right idea. The idea is developing an individual profile, and for people who have demonstrated that they are irresponsible drivers, especially, and motorcyclists, certainly as much as anybody else, maybe even more so, then there's no problem. We have no problem with having those people pay.
So give me your reaction to what Donna Harpower has said, what a lot of callers to this station have said, that other motor vehicles owners are subsidizing motorcycle riders.
Well, okay, SGI has lots of different pots of money, and where it puts the cost against what revenues it brings in, I mean, there are lots of different ways to spin this. How about the safe motorcycle riders are paying disproportionate premiums and making no claims at all? They're subsidizing car and truck drivers who have accidents.
Yeah, I guess it works both ways, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
You guys formed only in the last couple of weeks. This is a result of this conversation.
This is a result of just seeing something where motorcycles have been subject to 4 rate increases in the last 5 years.
Oh, okay.
And basically, we've just said enough is enough. This is not the way to solve this problem. If there's a problem with the number of accidents and the number of injuries that motorcyclists are having, let's get together and find some constructive, proactive ways to solve this problem. Things like a graduated license system whereby people start off on smaller, lighter weight, lighter horsepower bikes, and once they've demonstrated their skill, they get to move up to bigger bikes. things like making people who drive vehicles more aware that motorcycles are out there. You know, the most common type of accident involving a motorcycle and a car is this. A motorcycle is traveling through an intersection when an oncoming car makes a left turn in front of him. The motorcycle hits the car, serious injuries, serious damage, but invariably the driver will say, "I didn't see him."
When I was first on this argument, my argument was that when motorcyclists are in accidents, they have a greater opportunity of being hurt, and therefore the insurance costs are higher. And the argument that I got thrown back at me was, yes, but the other person may have been the one who was at fault, just like you have mentioned.
That's an interesting thing. SGI has somewhere, they've cooked up a statistic that says 52% of accidents are the fault of the motorcycle rider. That is unique in North America. The other studies all put the number over on the other side, saying that anywhere from 2/3 to 3/4 of the accidents are not caused by the motorcycle rider.
I want to know where R.A.G.E stands on mandatory motorcycle training and the lack of here in Saskatchewan.
Well, we're in favor of it. We're at variance with the motorcycle dealers on this point. But
how do you mean?
Well,
the motorcycle dealers don't want to see the mandatory training that'll cut into sales?
I believe that's one of their concerns, but they do have a legitimate concern in that they say the motorcycle training doesn't show up in the stats as being a curative measure for, to bring the number of accidents down among young riders.
And what does R.A.G.E believe, Malcolm Macleod?
I think R.A.G.E is a little bit more. I'm just searching for a word here. We're a little bit more confident in the abilities of the motorcycle trainers to provide people with, and not only, it's not just a question of training. I mean, a motorcycle requires balance, it requires coordination, it requires a certain amount of skill, motor skill to ride. A little pun there, I guess. But it also requires education. It requires you to put your brain into a different place where you're not kind of listening to the stereo